And while we're going over to Afghanistan, let me also try out a different format. So bear with me. And now we are in Afghanistan, and to my surprise, while I was looking a little bit more into this, 95% of the world's heroin comes from Afghanistan. Now, I think that's a pretty large number. And if you can see here, there is something that I would call a piece of the puzzle. Now, gotta go again. Of course, we can continue. Afghanistan. To my big surprise, I found out that the largest supplier of heroin is Afghanistan. Now, I already knew a lot of shit came from there, but not 95+%. And if you look at the graph, there is a little piece of that puzzle, or like the conspiracy deniers or conspiracy thinkers. Now, the conspiracy deniers, this is what they would call a coincidence. But look at the year 2001, and knowingly that almost all the heroin comes from Afghanistan, and if you know how much money is involved with that, it's pretty funny that 9/11 happened, and within a couple of weeks there were boots on the ground to look for Osama and to eradicate the Taliban. The Taliban were eradicating the poppy fields, and now there are Americans in Afghanistan, and well, you can see the steadily rising of the heroin production. And that's funny because September 11th had to do with I think 19 hijackers, and I think like 17 of them came out of Saudi Arabia, which is a big ally of the United States, of course. However, they found it necessary to attack Afghanistan with boots on the ground, even though they have all this, air and space superiority. Well, superior. They're superior in the air. So whatever Afghan can do. On the other hand, Afghanistan has been invaded many a times with big weaponry. Think about Russia, France, United States, and one of the coolest things I saw in a documentary was writing in Arab or Farsi or whatever on a very demolished Soviet tank, and that said something like belief or faith is stronger than steel. Yeah, so if you really think that you are doing a good deed by dying for your cause and are not afraid to die, you are a formidable enemy. And us in Western are, yeah, we say kill them all, but we ain't like those kind of people. We don't have that kind of educational system, and that educational system. Now I'm starting talking. There we go. That educational system we have in Western world, the Persian educational system, just made us into robots. You know, to obey authority, to be stiffed, to believe what the government tells you. On the other hand, the education that the other side gets, the Muslims, I'm going way off BC right here, but like the Taliban, if you really believe that you're gonna go to heaven with 72 Vicks or Dadles, I think it was mistranslations, they're not virgin. But anyway, you're going up to heaven and you will be rewarded there if you would die in cause of your belief. You're not afraid to die. That's just a very, very scary thought, but that has also to do with education. Did you know that most of the suicide bombers are children? You know, those sponge, you know, like not infants, but children that are skeptical, no, not skeptical, but acceptable, whatever, to believe that whatever you tell them is true, especially when it's told to them by an authoritative figure, be it their father, their mother, their teacher, or in other cases their emir, or not so much in the West, but their reverend or domino they're falling, man, their priests or whatever. But children are very, you know, acceptable, and they will believe that they will do good to their family, and whatever these idiots tell them to do, to wrap something around their body, press a button, and say that it's all in God's will, you know. And that all has to do with the education of the mind. And in the West, it's the Perusian system, which you can see the effect of very clearly. How Germany was winning the Second World War in the beginning, how disciplined they were. That came from that Perusian educational system. Same thing still going on in America, where the Perusian educational system was introduced by Horace Mann in 1837. I gotta do this thing again, but I just keep talking for a bit. 1837, just before the Industrial Revolution started. If you think like me, you know that the Industrial Revolution is coming. And what do you need to get these uneducated farmers that do not have this obligation to go to school? How do you get them so far to become part of this big industrial revolution that is coming up? It's around the corner. Because let's say 1850, that revolution started. And in 1837, Horace Mann started in Massachusetts the first couple of Perusian educational system, that formula, schools, which is, you know, be on time for school. You gotta stand in line of the group you are in. Yeah. The teacher usually stands a little higher than you. He makes a speech of that day, or whatever he says. Then the bell rings, you go inside, you sit in your chair, the teacher comes in, You have to, normally it's like, hey, teacher, what up? Then you have had to do your homework, which is nothing to do with intelligence. It's just, regurgitated learning. If you have a question, you gotta put your hand up, wait for you to be spoken to. You break those kind of rules, you get punished. You do your learning good, your capability of remembering information, you get better grades. Like topography or history, biology, physics, all that stuff is actually kind of unnecessary in the life of 80 to 90% of the population that underwent that kind of educational system. They have that in there to weave out the better thinkers, they wish, the Einsteins or the Bohrs or the whoever's, the Hawkings but for most it is just to make you learn to read, to write, to calculate, and to have a little bit of basic knowledge of a bunch of stuff. And then when you're 16, you're no longer obligated to attend school, and you can go right onto the factory line or into the military, and you have been well indoctrinated from the age of 4 until 16 for most time of the day. And every day is like clockwork. At 9 o'clock starts school, 3 o'clock, ends school, except on a Wednesday, I thought, and in the weekends you're off. Kind of like, Jesus, I don't know how your life is when you're in the working environment. You work from 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, but you're then already accustomed to it because you have been indoctrinated from that young age until 16, so you think that all is well. I know I'm blabbering a lot, but I keep on going because I got one more example, and that is the Bible. We get to learn about the Tooth Fairy, we get to learn about Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny, and also we get religion. But along the way, Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny and the Tooth Fairy, they all fall away. But the deity, the God, Yahweh, Allah, whoever you want to call it, Zeus, Apollo, Thor, Wodan, name any of them, who that your parents believe in, you probably believe in as well. But you got that from the get-go. You got that from when you were way young, when you were gullible, and also believed in the Easter Bunny. I am for the what do you call it? A law that not before 16 any under 16 person should be allowed to read in that book or being taught out of that book. Because I think when you're a little bit more of a critical thinker, which you are at the age of 16, having been through this educational system, which does not make you a critical thinker, but you can get to think a little bit more critical, and you get to read about a book. And if it's really fundamental, the Earth is 6,000 years old, but there's also this talking snake, and the women being the bad people. Even in the first chapter, God is angry with man, but he made us like that or something, and he just annihilates the whole planet. All animals except two from every species, put them on a boat, and after sometime he hits a mountain, and life can start again. If you read that at 16, I think there would be a lot less people who would attend church, or at least who would believe in those spiritual books. I mean, I know from here that I should not kill, I should not lie, I should not steal. it says in the Bible as well, respect thy elders. Yeah. Well, F that. Yeah. Some elders do not deserve respect